Chris Sims, again, former NFL quarterback, on the Browns offense against Texans defense.
The Texans don't like to blitz. So they need those two guys on the edge to be healthy, right? The DeMeco Ryan defense, the 49er defense, they're not a blitzing defense. They want their front four to get there. So that'll be big. So that's where the two defensive ends will help out. And then certainly the other thing, too, that really jumped out to me, and you hear me say this a lot sometimes with this defensive scheme, not everybody understands how to attack it, right? They don't understand the rules of this 49ers DeMeco Ryan defense. And they don't understand how they pass things off. And you hear me say, like, they go 4-on-3 or 3-on-2, and you got to figure out how they're passing it off and how they're working that little 3-on-2 zone. Cleveland showed a very good understanding of it. To me, Cleveland showed the ability of, like, we get your rules, and we know how to stress them and put you in some problems. And they did that. Hence, that's why he threw for 395,000 yards in the game, is because of that. So that's where Houston's got to change some things up just a little bit, maybe give some different looks to not let Cleveland get such a groove offensively.
I'm super excited about this game because either way it goes, it's a really compelling storyline, right?
And Quincy, we've alluded to that. If the Texans try to do the same thing they did defensively, I'm not sure they see a different result.
Well, the book that they're reaching from, right, it's the same book that we've seen for 3 years, right, with Joe Woods. We know what those coverage rules are. And since this team has had so many issues when they try to adjust those coverage rules because teams were catching up to them, we also know the chaos that can be created when those rules are being adjusted, right? All the communication issues. So we know how hard of a defense that is to adjust once you've caught up to it. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the Texans do and what opportunities that could open up for this Browns team if the Texans do try to change some of those rules up. But, 3 years in that Joe Woods defense, in that San Francisco style 4-2-5, like if this, then that defense, guys are going to know it pretty well on both sides of the ball. And I would argue, especially on like Kevin Stefanski on that side of the ball, because he's probably had to spend a significant amount of time the last few years working on that side of the ball, trying to help the defense get to a point to where they could be credible, because that's really what's been holding back the team. And that's part of Stefanski's job as the head coach, is to be able to problem solve stuff like that, and he was probably consistently coming up with things that would stress out Joe Woods' defense.